Hey everyone, this is One Man Zerg with the UEN.com, also with
STV Rush.
And we are watching a replay today between the blue Terran, which is LiquidTLO, and the pink Zerg, which is Grez. These are two very high level players, so we're looking to see some very advanced play, and we're looking for that play on the Metalopolis map. It's very very robust map. There are a lot of expansions that are easy to hold, so you can see the Zerg player has his natural expo out here, which although not easily defended, is so close to the base that they can easily bring in reinforcements. And that's mirrored on the Terran side with his expo right here. There's also two gold mineral expos in the middle, and then a middle expansion on each side that the players can go to, as well as the two other base options of the natural and the main expansion.
We can see that the purple Zerg is sending his overlord to scout his closest enemy base here, but unfortunately TL spawns on the opposite side. Terran, this map Metalopolis favors Terran a bit because the ledges are very there's a lot of ledges all over the place, and to get to the entrance of TLO's base, the ledge helps him a lot.
There's also a very thin ramp here, so what you'll see from most Terran players is they love to block that ramp, usually with supply depots in a barracks, so they can get a really early block off and block off any Zergling rush. Also, you'll see that even though the purple or the pink player's overlord did not scout the Terran player at this base, he can leave it there to see if any movement is occurring, and he also knows that that's one less base that he does have to scout.
I think the Zerg is going for his expansion build. He's getting his spawning pool. Oh, he just built his hatchery.
He has a 14 pool, 15 hatchery build going on. So that's a bit of a normal build, more of a late game approach. He's going to macro and not worrying about so much early harassment, which is probably a good strategy on Metalopolis when you're playing a Terran player, because you know that they can easily block their ramp and inhibit any kind of early Zergling harass.
So TLO spots this expansion here, and he decides not to build a bunker to stop that harassment, the expansion.
And you can see the Zerg player carefully moves in his drone to look out for that bunker build, because you can see this sight range on the hatchery is very minimal, so you could place a bunker here as a Terran player, and that would not allow them to see it. So you can see they can't see right there. In the middle, TLO looks like he's trying to put some early pressure on this overlord to inhibit the scouting, but really that's a great position for an overlord. It's difficult to attack him from any one side, so you'd have to surround him, and that's just too much micro in the early game to worry about one overlord.
Yeah, I think the Terran player right now is trying to get more advanced unit rather than attacking early. And look, you can see that he blocked with his factory. He's probably planning to put a starport down, most likely, and this attack's gonna fail.
So you can see the Zerg is really just testing the water, seeing what's there, and he finds a bunch of Marines, but probably not anything more. Let's take a look. Yeah, he doesn't even see what the Terran player is building. So really some unsuccessful blocking, scouting, but some great blocking by TLO.
So now the Terran player is getting a Helion out. That is a great scouting unit that the Terran has. It's very fast and it's cheap. And okay.
The Helion's great versus light units, so that means Zerglings. Oh, and it looks like the Terran player here is halfway done with the bunker. If he gets this bunker up, it's going to make it much easier for him to pressure the Zerg player. Looks like, oh, the Zerg player is trying to target down the SCV so he can't continue to build. TLO is trying to focus on that queen. The queens are so slow off creep that they're really susceptible. But with so many Zerglings and only one Helion, it doesn't look like it's too great of a push for the Terran player. He's trying to get out. Oh, he gets one more Helion in, but he loses one. The bunker goes down.
One thing that the Zergling doesn't have the movement speed. That's why he can't really chase after the Terran units.
When the Zerglings get the movement speed upgrade, they can much more easily fight with Helions, even though they're still not the best unit to fight against them, because they do go down really quickly to this 14 damage versus light. That's 3 shots to kill a Zergling. You
can see that the Helion was trying to go up the ramp, but was blocked by the Zerg player, denying the scout.
And the Terran player realizes that his push is just not going to be effective, so he runs back to his base and allows the Zerg to gain a lot of map control and really start pumping up with this hatchery. Let's look at the income tab. You can see that the Zerg's climbing ahead with almost 1,000 to 800 income ratio, but the Terran can really play off one base for a while with the use of their mules.
Yeah, and the Zerg is teching right now. Evolution Chamber is going up. That's for upgrade. Zerg always want to upgrade the Carapace because that's just it elongates the life of the units. And ooh, there's a healing there.
Yeah, Helian's just chilling, scouting the Zerg base. You can also see the Zerg is not going for much gas. It's a bit unusual because he just upgraded to a lair. Oh, there's a big push on the Terran base. He took out all the Marines over here. And the Terran has no Marines to defend with. He's quickly trying to repair this tech lab. But it doesn't, I don't know if he's going to be able to repair it in time.
Yeah, there's not enough SCV actually on the tech lab. They're just getting stuck right at the factory. And I think the tech lab is actually going to go down, and it goes down, and the Terran's in a lot of trouble. Oh, the tank pops up. That is going to be a saver. And still, TLO loses a couple SCVs, but manages to fend off this harassment.
That's a very lucky fend off. It's really a poor blockade right here. You should put a supply depot there so you can just lower and raise it and not have a building there that you have to lift off and land. It just doesn't seem like a smart play. But TLO is so great that I really don't want to doubt anything that he's doing.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. So
TLO has got to be one of the most creative players I've seen. Just his strategies with whatever race he uses always seem to blow your mind.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he blocked it with that. That's odd. Why would he do that? And then later I was like, oh, dang, I was wrong. You know, that kind of stuff.
Looks like there's some harassment going on over here, maybe with the Helion that the Queen had to fend off. It's very low on probes.
I think he transferred his drones to the other expansion, maybe? Oh, I don't know what happened.
You can see a 32 to 30 harvester count, pretty even, but the Zerg does have 2 bases, so he should have a lot more drones than that.
Yeah, the Zerg always wants to be ahead in expansion and ahead in drone count because they could produce better. So right now the Zerg is in a slightly disadvantage because of that. And the Terran is just scouting with his Viking. Viking is a great way to control the map, especially killing overlords, so the Zerg doesn't have any map control or sight to see what the Terran is doing. And you can see that the Zerg is harassing again.
So Zerg players bringing in some Zerglings over here to harass the Terran Expo. Just delay that Expo, buy some time to have a further advantage. The Viking is just chilling over here. Look like this Terran is wasting a lot of money on some additional barracks and a bunker out here, really trying to defend and secure this expansion of his.
Yeah, Terran's very good at killing things if they have a good position on them. If they don't have a good position, like getting flanked and so on and so forth, then Terran army is not very effective. Right now you can see that ooh, here's another scout. Oh, okay. No, just kidding.
So it looks like the Viking is trying to harass some overlords, but at the same time the Queen is trying to harass the Viking. It's a lot of trade-off back and forth between the Zerg and the Terran in those battles. The Zerg really wants to utilize those overlords for scouting and save them for unit space, but oh wow. Got a nice 5 Zergling splash on that siege tank over here.
Siege tank now actually splashes on the center of the unit instead of on the front of the unit, which makes them so much more powerful, makes the Terran mech play much more viable.
And you can see this, TLO is really creating this choke point right here that the Zerglings can run through, making those Zerglings far less effective. And a choke point like that with a Helion behind it really allows for the splash damage of the Helion as well as the splash damage of the tank to take full advantage.
Yeah.
Looks like he's not really pushing in. He's got some banelings here. He's ready to push, but his army just looks way too small to go up against that. On the income too, you can see that the Terran player TLO is still ahead in terms of resources and gas mining, even though he's on a 2 base to 3 base play. Oh, got some more Viking harassing here. You can see in terms of army size too, the Terran player is greatly up on the Zerg player, and it's about a 90 to 90, but the cost of his units are far surpassing the Zerg players, making me think the quality of the army is much greater as well.
Yeah, I think both players are just macroing up for a bigger attack here because it seems like there's a